Welcome everyone to the third annual Free at Last speaker meeting of Narcotics Anonymous. My name is Lenny B. and I am a recovering addict. Let's take a moment of silence to pray for the addict who still suffers, followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you, everybody. If you haven't already, please write your name. Oh yeah, we already told you that for the free shirt. Hey, Alec, I've asked Alec to come up and read Who's an Addict.
Hi, my name is Alec and I'm an addict. Most of us do not have to think twice about this question, we know. Our whole lives and thinking was centered in drugs in one form or another, in the getting, the using, and finding ways and means to get more. We live to use and use to live. Very simply, an addict is a man or woman whose life is controlled by drugs. We are the people in the grip of continued and progressive illness whose ends are always the same: jails, institutions, and deaths.
Thank you, Alec. I've asked Ricky to come read What is the NA program.
Hi, I'm Ricky. I'm an addict. Ricky. What is the NA? What is the Narcotics Anonymous program? NA is a nonprofit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There is only one requirement for membership: the desire to stop using. We suggest that you keep an open mind and give yourself a break. Our program is a set of principles written so simply that we can follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing about them is that they work. There are no strings attached to NA. We are not affiliated with any other organizations. We have no initiation fees or dues, no pledges to sign, no promises to make to anyone. We are not connected with any political, religious, or law enforcement group and are under no surveillance at any time. Anyone may join us regardless of age, race, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack of religion. We are not interested in what or how much you used or who your connections were, what you have done in the past, how much or how little you have, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. The newcomer is the most important person at any meeting because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. We have learned from our group experience that those who keep coming to our meetings regularly stay clean.
Thank you, Ricky. And I've asked Krista to read Why Are We Here?
I'm Krista and I'm an addict. Krista. Why are we here? Before coming to the fellowship of NA, we cannot manage our own lives. We cannot live and enjoy life as other people do. We had to have something different and we thought we had found it in drugs. We placed their use ahead of the welfare of our families, our wives, husbands, and our children. We had to have drugs at all costs. We did many people great harm, but most of all, we harmed ourselves. Through our inability to accept personal responsibilities, we're actually creating our own problems. We seem to be incapable of facing life on its own terms. Most of us realize that in our addiction, we are slowly committing suicide. But addiction is such a cunning enemy of life that we have lost the power to do anything about it. Many of us ended up in jail or sought help through medicine, religion, and psychiatry. None of these methods was sufficient for us. Our disease always resurfaced or continued to progress until in desperation we sought help from each other in Narcotics Anonymous. After coming to NA, we realized we were sick people. We suffered from a disease from which there is no known cure. It can, however, be arrested at some point, and recovery is then possible.
Thank you, Krista. I've asked Andrea to read How It Works.
Andrea, I'm an addict. If you want what we have to offer and are willing to make the effort to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. These are the principles that made our recovery possible. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, we humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to the addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. This sounds like a big order, and we can't do it all at once. We didn't become addicted in one day, so remember, easy does it. There's one thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery, and this is an attitude of indifference or intolerance towards spiritual principles. 3 of these that are indispensable are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With these, we are well on our way. We feel that our approach to the disease of addiction is completely realistic, for the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. We feel that our way is practical, for one addict can best understand and help another addict. We believe that the sooner we face our problems within our society and everyday living, just that much faster do we become acceptable, responsible, and productive members of that society. The only way to keep from returning to active addiction is to not take that first drug. If you are like us, then you know that 1 is too many and 1,000 never enough. We put great emphasis on this, for we know that when we use drugs in any form or another, we release our addiction all over again. Thinking of alcohol as different from any other drugs has caused a great many addicts to relapse. Before we came to NA, many of us viewed alcohol separately. But we cannot afford to be confused about this. Alcohol is a drug. We are people with the disease of addiction who must abstain from all drugs in order to recover.
Thank you, Andrea. Vest, you know what, from all the way from California, man, check this out, man, come on. Come on, Cassie, come read the 12 traditions.
Hi, I'm Cassie. I'm an addict. We keep what we have only with vigilance, and just with freedom for the individual comes from the 12 steps. So freedom from the group springs from our traditions. As long as the ties that bind us together are stronger than those that would tear us apart, all will be well. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on NA unity. 2, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as He may express Himself in our group conscious. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. 3, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. 4, each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or NA as a whole. 5, each group has but one primary purpose, to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. 6, an NA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the NA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, or prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7, every NA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, Narcotics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9, NA as such ought never be organized, but may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10, Narcotics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the NA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need to always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation for all of our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. Understanding these traditions comes slowly over a period of time. We pick up information as we talk to members and visit various groups. It usually isn't until we get involved with service that someone points out our personal recovery depends on NA unity, and that unity depends on how well we follow the traditions. The 12 traditions of NA are not negotiable. They are the guidelines to keep fellowship alive and free. By following these guidelines in our dealings with others and society at large, we avoid many problems. This is not to say that our traditions eliminate all problems. We still have to face difficulties as they arise. Communication problems, differences of opinion, internal controversies, and troubles with individuals and groups outside the fellowship. However, when we apply these principles, we avoid some of the pitfalls. Many of our problems are like those that our predecessors had to face. Their hard-won experience gave birth to the traditions, and our own experiences has shown that these principles are just as valid today as they were when these traditions were formulated. Our traditions protect us from the internal and external forces that could destroy us. They are truly the ties that bind us together. It is only through understanding and application that they work.
Thanks, Abby. Glad you're here.
Thanks, Cassie. I've asked all the way from Napa, Idaho. Bill, redo recovery. Bill, where you at, old boy? It's my boy, man. It's my boy.
Addict recovery named Bill. Bill! We do recover. When at the end of the road we find we can no longer function as human beings, either with or without drugs, we all face the same dilemma. What is there left to do? There seems to be this alternative. Either go on as the best we can to the bitter ends, jails, institutions, or death, or find a new way to live. In years gone by, very few addicts ever had this last choice. Those who are addicted today are more fortunate. For the first time in man's entire history, a simple way has been proven itself in the lives of many addicts. It is available to us all. This is a spiritual, not religious program known as Narcotics Anonymous.
Thanks, Bill. We will pass the basket for our 7 traditions, which states that every NA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 50% of the donations will go towards our annual speaker meeting, and 50% will go donated to high desert area of NA. Please place get well cards. If you have a green card, please place it in the basket. You will have available back after the speaker. Before I introduce my speaker, I just want to say thank you everybody for showing up for your recovery today. This was all in the making about 3 years ago, and COVID hit, and at our age there was health issues, and so we've been waiting. I've been calling this young lady for 3 years, 2.5 years, and my wife would tell me things like, leave that woman alone. And then, so, we're talking about getting up in my brain, right? I'm like, I better not call her. But I keep calling her. And then when she celebrated her birthday, what she'll tell you, was the first meeting of Narcotics Anonymous on Zoom, that there was 250 people, and it was a women's meeting. And I have been to a women's meeting of Narcotics Anonymous on Zoom. Thank you, Glendora B. I only did it once. Anyway, this young lady is graciously, I've been following her for about 5 years. Wherever she goes on Zoom, I go, and I tell her this. And I hope somebody hears something today that brings them back one more day. She's graciously decided to take time out of her life to fly out from Philadelphia to come carry the message of Narcotics Anonymous here in Idaho. Glendora, come do your thing, homie. Fix the mic. I love you. Make sure that's good for me.
It's okay.
I'm an addict and my name is Glendora. And I'm only clean because of a loving God's grace and his oh so tender mercy. I want to thank God, my higher power. God, as you understand him, for this moment. Because some of my friends didn't get this moment. They made decisions or choices, so it's time for them to go. But we're here, and it's time to celebrate. To Lenny and Jamie, thank y'all for the years of contact with me and like staying on me and like asking me to be of service. That's how I got it. And I can't keep it unless I give it away. So here we go. I came to Narcotics Anonymous in November of 1986. If God so wills, tomorrow I'll have 35 years and 6 months. And it's only God. You told me when I first got here that I didn't have to leave here anymore. Yeah, keep coming back, please, but baby, stay. So I took y'all at your word and I've been staying. And I understand relapse can be a part of your story. And I respect that about you, that you made it back. But I just kept staying. I just stayed. Now, I talk fast. So I'm going to put all of y'all on my A step to make amends to you later. I've tried changing and altering who I am, and it never works. Because I'm hyper. Totally hyper. So, like, there's a story before this story. Before the 86 story. I grew up in a household of all women. My father was a drive-by dad. He would drive by, throw money in, and just keep moving. And I grew up in a lot of abuse, and illusion was my first drug of choice. I would go in the basement, I would make my own family because that one upstairs was crazy. And Mrs. Brady and Mr. Brady were my mom and dad, little Peter and Marsha, you know my sister and brother. You know, they were nice to me. And when I would have to come upstairs to eat or do whatever else I had to come upstairs for, I would face my father and mother fighting across the table, my older sisters fighting him, me trying to fight, all these little girls trying to fight one man, and of course he wins. And I learned how to be quiet. I learned how to keep secrets. I learned how to be seen but not seen. Because if you made noise, he would know you were there and you'd get hurt. So I grew up real quick, and I grew up in this household where secrets are all around us. My mom always used to tell me, she said, whatever happens in the house stays in the house. Don't let nobody else know what's going on in here. It's none of their business. So I learned how to keep secrets about the abuse. I remember one night my older sisters told me, we're going to give you a job. I'm like, I'm going to get a job. Wow, what's my job? And they said, you are the tuck under lady. I'm like, the tuck under lady? What the hell is that? And so, like they said, whenever you hear the floorboards outside of our bedroom creak, you tell us tuck under. I didn't understand the significance of that, but I had a job, and that's all that mattered. I'm still in that age where I want to be accepted and be a part of and loved by my older sisters, so I would do my job. Yes, I would. So that night, I heard the boards creak outside the door, and I said, tuck under. And my sisters and them, they flipped on their stomach, and they put their hands across their breasts, and they crossed their ankles, because my father was sexually molesting them, and I didn't understand. What he did was wrong. Nobody sat me down and explained to me what was wrong. In my eyes, I saw him showing love to them and not to me. I wasn't pretty enough. My hair wasn't long enough. I didn't have breasts like them. He didn't love me. So a lot of my life, I went looking for that love I thought he was giving them through sex. I'm sorry, I equated sex with love. Didn't see nothing different. I mean, you make love to me, I smile, you smile, we all in love. It's happy. Look, fairy tales, I told you, illusion. You know them storybooks, you know, the White Knight? That was my life. I wanted happily ever after. Never got it. So I grew up believing in the illusion. I grew up believing like no matter what happened, and the literature backs me up, it says, you know, God, our behaviors were showing long before the chemical, and like I would steal in order for you to like me, and I would lie in order for you to like me, and I grew up believing those behaviors were cool. And I'm moving up because I got a lot to tell you, and I don't want to keep you here forever, but I grew up believing that sex was the key to my pain. If I laid with you and you said you liked me in class, then I was okay. I was cool. But I didn't hear the other girls that were talking about me, calling me a whore and all those other things, and I ignored them. He loves me. He loves me. And I grew up believing that the love he gave me or told me he was going to give me after I gave him the punani was real, and it never was real. So when I got introduced to this first drug of choice, all I thought was like, it's taking away the emptiness, the loneliness, the low self-esteem, the self-pity. For once I could use something mind-moving, and mind-altering, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Bottom line is, it took me away from the pain of life. I suffer from PPD. If you don't know what that is, that's paranoid personality disorder. It's where I don't trust nobody. I've been hurt too much. And so I'm out there and I'm sleeping with everybody and anybody, and I'm growing up. And at the end, the bottom, I remember like inviting these guys in my house. And I remember like getting high with them, this drug, you want to call it a drug of choice. I really didn't have a choice. I didn't know I had an allergic reaction to drugs. You know, I didn't know then. I just thought they made me happy. They made you like me. They made me prettier. They made me talk and flow just right. They made me move my hips like you do the hula hoop. These things will cure all my ills. They will make my hair grow. Yeah, right. I bought hair. You know, and I just wanted to be what you wanted me to be. And you talk about chameleon, I would transform. And at the end, when I started smoking this thing, and like I'm out there on stupid, and I'm out there smoking, and I can't find home, and home is 2 blocks away. But my disease said, you're a soldier, you don't move from your post. And I'm out there smoking like a broke stove. And I remember out there at the end when I sold all the material things, the jewelry, everything. And I'm out there and I'm saying, what can I gotta stay in the high zone. I just can't feel no more. And I remember prostituting myself for the first time. It made me want to throw up, but I had to do what I had to do. Y'all don't understand. I'm caught in the grips and don't even know how caught up I am. The disease told me if I would get this one good hit, I would be back to happy, happy, joy, joy. Lied. It lied to me. And I remember having favorite tricks, if you want to call them that. Favorite tricks, Tom, Dick, and Harry. You know, look, this one guy, he said, look, I'm tired of coming here every weekend, and we do the same thing. I'm like, well, what you want, baby? You know, what you want? He like, you know, I got a taste for an Indian. I'm a transformer, original one, not the one that's on television. How? Look, whatever you want, I got it. I was already smoking the peace pipe, so I'm like, whatever. Oh, wow. And I'm out there and I'm stuck on stupid. I can't go home because my body has started corroding. I smell so bad. Remember Pigpen and Charlie Brown? I left a cloud of funk around me because something about that disease that should have been on the bottle said, if you smoke this, shoot this, drink this, you will never wash your ass ever again. And I just didn't get in there. The water was, no, not the water. So I stink. And all my friends stink. So we were like, it was like a group. We fought for our funk. You stink. No, you stink. You stink the worst. No, you stink the worst. And we had to fight and argue over funk, and we all stink. And I'm stuck out there, and I don't know what to do. I want to be free at last. I want to feel the air blowing over my face, and I want to look in my mom's eye. I done robbed her so many times that she had gotten used to covering my tracks. At the end of my addiction, they brought this 13-year-old girl to my house. You want to call it a house? It was a crack house. And they brought her to me, and they like, we don't know what to do with this kid. Now, they don't use the body up. Now they give it to me. And what did I do? I have no morals. I have no principles. I am an animal. I'm just empty inside. My core is done. And I look at this 13-year-old. She had the hazel eyes and the long hair. And I'm like, I'm going to work this girl. I put her on the corner and I put her out there and I was a pimpette. I made that word up. But I knew what I was doing was wrong, man. And that little girl was out there working for me. You think I felt shame? In order to be a whore, a prostitute, you have to learn how to turn feelings off and on. You have to learn how to not be in the present moment. I already was not there. Illusion, I told you. I don't want to feel. Give me something that will take away the emptiness and the horror of my life. I got raped out there and wound up getting high with the same guys that raped me the next day. I'm out there and I'm stuck. And I remember going to this gas station that I heard paid money for sex. And I remember going in there and asking the guy, you know, what's up? And he smelled me. He said, you smell. He said, I'm not going to touch you. And instead of being ashamed, I wasn't ashamed. I'm like, dude, what you want me to do? And you know what he wanted me to do. Come on. It's a job that requires no application. You know what job I'm talking about. And I did that job and he paid me half the money and I left out of there feeling even more humiliating. The disease of addiction is a shame-based disease. It's all about the shame. And I came out of there and I remember looking across the street and there was this church and this is my story. And I'm like, my mom always told me, she said, if you go in that place, this God thing would save you and all the pain would go away. All I wanted was the pain to go away. So I went over there. I had on a hooker dress that was split all the way up the side. No underwear. My legs were dirty and nasty. My fingernails were broken. My hair was matted to my head. My face was black and blue from being beat up. And I went in there and there was a wall like this and I hid all the way back. So those pretty clean church people wouldn't see me. And I remember hiding all the way back as far as my back could go. And I remember the pretty two ladies in the back row of the church turned around and did like this, looked me up and down like, and started laughing at me. And I didn't care because I was safe. My mom said I was safe. And I watched them and they called that man over, the usher man. And they said something to me. He came back towards me. And I'm a defensive person. Like, don't come up on me like that. And I'm like, he came up to me and said, you have to leave. I'm like, why? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Don't make me leave. I didn't do nothing. He said, you got to go. Come back when you're ready. I said, but I didn't do anything this time. I didn't. And he pushed me out the door. And I wound up outside and I used for 2 more weeks. And then I finally hit a bottom. A bottom that only God could have created for me. Because each of us have our own level of pain. And each of us have our own story of hitting bottom. And I remember coming out and out of detox. And I wind up getting this meatless out of the back of my dirty jeans. And I remember this man in the detox said, he said, there's a place where you can go, where the addicts just like you, who live to use and use to live. He said, and they're clean now, meaning they don't use drugs no more, and they're happy, they're joyous, they got homes, they got jobs. I'm like, he's lying. This guy got to be high. Ain't nobody like that got high with me. Nobody do that stuff anymore. But I took the list. And I remember my mom, when I came in the house from detox, she said, I need you whenever you go in the room to clap your hands so I know where you at. I want to be free of the bondage, of the baggage, of the behaviors. I can't blame nobody else. That was my whole lifestyle, blaming the world for my situations that I placed myself in. So when I got to NA and I went to that first meeting, I went to that first meeting, and there was so many people. I'm like, all these people ain't stopped using. They even back. They won't give me none. They're being selfish. Now I got a whole 9 days clean. I'm ready for y'all to give me a party. I'm here. Come on, come on. They like ignored me totally. But what happened was this. I got scared because I didn't understand what NA meant. I got scared. There was too many of y'all looking clean. Y'all had hairdos and your nails were pressed on and they were really pretty. I got scared of you because I didn't know if I fit in like the church and y'all would put me out. So I got behind the coffee table like I worked at Starbucks or something. What do you have, sir? I don't even work there. I don't even know. This is my first meeting. And the man that had gave me the meeting list, he came behind the table. I'm like, oh, excuse me, sir, you can't come back here. Like, it's my table. And he kept running and walking like he did not hear me. And he came up to me and said, I want to introduce you to somebody. Oh, no. I see this big girl coming behind him. I'm like, oh, this is a fat joke. Okay, I've always been a big girl, y'all. I'm sorry. That's just my story. Look, crack ate up some of y'all. But look, y'all, I was out there and I was stealing food to eat it. Y'all stealing to sell it. Look, no, I'm going to get mine. I might have been gray, but I was very fluffy gray. Very fluffy. So I see the big girl coming. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a threesome, Mom. I got to do both of y'all? Man, I don't get into girls, but like, look, come on. I'm going to charge her extra because I heard you say she clean. I don't know what that means, but maybe she ain't got no diseases because I had a lot of those. So he pushes her around him and she opens up her arms like this. Now, if you come from where I come from, you don't open up your arms to me because I'm going to go in your pockets. If you come from where I come from, you don't touch me unless it's about money. If you come from where I come from, I'm not worthy. No tears. I'm not worthy of being touched. I'm an animal. You touch me, I'm going to get you. Instead of pray for you, I'm going to pray on you. And she came up to me and she gripped me up like boom. It was my first NA hug and I didn't understand. Like, I'm broken. I am so broken. I can't meet nobody in the eye. I don't know what to do. I'm just here. I don't understand the language you're talking. But for some reason, behind that coffee table, I felt safe. And she hugged me and she squished me really good. And I felt a heartbeat. And in that moment, my broken pieces came together. In that moment, I felt the acceptance that I've always wanted. In that moment, I felt like maybe something can help me, maybe. And like she said, you never have to feel the way you feel right now ever again. And then she said this other thing in my other ear. She said, I'm going to love you till you learn how to love yourself. How could she love me? I'm the girl that put the young girl in the corner. How could she love me? I'm the one that held up my own mom. How could she love me? I'm the girl that got naked with any and everybody. How could she love me? I'm undeserving of that word. That word is for the elite. How could she love me? And she would not let me go. She was my first sponsor. She loved me as I was. And she reinforced our message that an addict, any addict, can stop using drugs. I'm 9 days clean. I haven't used. And I'm like, I'm standing there hugging this woman I don't know. But what I did, newcomer, listen up. This is my tale. I want to be free at last. But it's some work that I had to do. If you want what we had to offer, and you're willing to make the effort to get it, then there are certain steps that you must take. And I started following her around. And she said she was going to a meeting on Saturday in Philadelphia where I live at. I followed her. And if she sat up front, I sat right next to her. I was right under her armpit. And she read a literature, she was reading, I was like this. If she shared, I ain't got nothing to say though. Look, I look at it like she's crazy. But I admired her guts, man. You talking about that live? She went to the dance, I got there early. I didn't know how to dance, I'm sorry y'all. I got high all in the 70s, right? So I was still stuck there. I got clean in 86, so I was still doing the robot. And And everybody was staring at me. I know y'all was copying my steps, but really what y'all was staring at, because y'all was like, nobody does that anymore, but that's okay. Thank you, God, for the third tradition. Only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. It didn't matter that I couldn't dance. Look, I was getting it. And she said, baby, come here, let me talk to you for a minute. I'm like, oh, I done messed up. She said, I'm going to teach you how to dance. And when I'm saying in slow-mo, she took me in my hand and she taught me this stuff. She said, electric slide, I will never forget that. And she was patient. She was loving. She kept doing it over and over again. I could not get it, but she wouldn't give up on me. And that's what I loved about that sponsor piece, you know? She saw me as I was, not who I pretended to be. She showed me how life could be. Like, she was looking beautiful. She smiled. She smelled so good. I would smell her all the time because she smelled like freedom, man. And I'm sitting there and I'm in these rooms and I'm starting to make meetings. I got to go faster. Like, I got a lot and I'm starting to sweat. My weave gonna slide off. Look, I started making meetings. I made my meetings count. I came early. I stayed during the meeting. I stayed late. I got in service. I got a home group. I became a part of that home group. By getting involved in service, I set the chairs up. Back in Philly, back in them days, we smoked in meetings, so I would put ashtrays out. Then I started like hanging around and find out where y'all go after the meetings, go to the diner. And I started learning how to socialize again. I'm not an animal. And I started changing and growing in these rooms. And I kept getting these key tags, these keychains, you know. And I thought about that. A sponsor said to me once, she said, you know, look, you know when people die? I'm like, yeah. She said, you know, they go to the morgue. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, okay. If you say so, why are we talking about this? She said, well, you know, they put this thing on their toe. I'm like, yeah, a toe tag. She said, yeah. She said, well, in there we give you a key tag. She said, which one would you want, a toe tag or a key tag? I never forgot that. I don't want a toe tag. I want to live like she lived. She gave me my first shot of hope. See, I had to understand and surrender the fact, first step, that I'm an addict. That I will use any and all things. I will control you. And I will actually try to help you help me control you. But when the pain gets great enough, that first step tells me that unmanageability is very, very, very apparent. And I saw my life falling apart with clean time. And I started throwing both hands up, not one behind my back. Both hands, I surrender and I accept who I am. As I moved on to a second step, I came to believe that y'all will work for you, making meetings, getting a sponsor, talking about your pain, getting these keychains. Y'all, those are the belief systems you had. And I started adopting them. And I came to believe that a power greater than me could restore me. Meaning I had to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to change for you or for her. But for me, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results never worked. I had to try something new. And as I did that, internalized the hope in that and the open-mindedness of the second step, I was able to move on to a third step. And the third step ain't easy. It's a giant step. Look, giving it to something I can't see, smell, taste, or touch. What? My will, my life. Look, I'll give him my finance. I'll handle the romance. You know, God like, yeah, you think that. And I remember, at that time I had more than a year, maybe going on 2 years. And I was on that third step. And I was like saying, take my will in my life. Guide me in my recovery. Show me how to live. But I love men. Boy, do I love men. God really did something with that one. Boy, I love men so much. Look, I think, you know, like if I had sex, look, bag some up for later. I'll get some for later on. You know, I'll get doggy bag. Talking about mind and mood altering. Zombie sex. You in a meeting, you can't even think about what they're sharing about. I'm going to get some, yes. See, that third step taught me something about let go and let God, or let go or be dragged. Dragged, holding on to something that ain't meant to be held on to. And I've held on to a lot of you men. And in that third step, I realized something. I suffer from this thing called chickenitis. And if you don't know what chickenitis is, it's where we have control issues. I know you don't. I do. And what chickenitis is, it's like I'm dealing with somebody sexually, and I got rules and laws that he don't know nothing about, but he's supposed to follow them. Now, we're supposed to go out at 7 o'clock. It's 7:20. Where you at? And at 7:30, he still ain't there, right? The chicken appears. You don't ask for the chicken to come. It just comes. And then when he opens the door, he come in. Oh, baby, I'm late. Where you go? Who was there? What's that girl always hugging you? Who's that girl in your hunger? Why you always leaving the refrigerator open? Why you never buy me no juice? Hey, what's up with the new underwear? I didn't buy you them underwear. Did she buy you them underwear? What's up with your baby mama? Your baby mama, I can't stand your baby mama. I can't stand your little kids either. And the chicken won't stop. The chicken keeps peck, peck, peck. And why you always leave the toilet seat up? Oh. You can't stop the chicken. The chicken needs control. The chicken needs to tell you how it works. And this is how it works the way I say so. And I forget all about my first step, and I go back and I get back to that third. Let it go, Glenn. Let go and let God. Let it go, or you're going to be dragged through this. Trying to make these men do what I want to do. I've pecked a lot of you, and I'm so sorry. So I let it go. I give it to God. And on the fourth step, I get deep. Like Shrek always talk about the layers of an onion. That's me. I want to know who I am, not who my mother says I am or who I might become. I want to know who I am. I want to see me for Glendora. I am a chameleon. I will change. They said the mask must go. Heck, I got so many masks. I'll take off 15. There's 20 more. Look, I want to know. And I start revealing who I am, and I get honest. And I see that I'm not that bad, but I'm not that good either. I accept this is Glendora on a deep level, and I write, and I don't stop. I keep writing. Every time I hesitate and get afraid, I go back to the third step and recommit myself to that third step. I call it prayer, you call it verse, or whatever you want to call it. But I say, God, take my will in my life, guide me. And I go back and I write. And as I'm writing, and I'm writing like an Egyptian, look, I'm writing a book like Jackie Collins, like lots of books, but I'm getting free. I'm starting to feel the freedom. I am Glendora. I'm very sensitive, but very crazy. Might call that passive aggressive. I don't care. I said this. I know there's something inside of me that goes on when I want to control something and I can't. Dr. Jekyll, Mistress Hyde. 1 minute I'm hi, I love sunshine and daisies. The next minute, I take your damn head off. You don't know who you're dealing with. It's Dr. Jekyll, Mistress Hyde. It's a war going on. 4 steps showed me that. So the 5th step, I can come. Look, I go to God, and I'm not waiting for him to come down and sit next to me. I'm talking to him as if we old buddies, which we are. And I'm talking, and I'm telling him about me and getting to the exact natures of my wrong. And I share it myself, even though I've lived it and done it. It's something about looking in that mirror and telling yourself, I put that 13-year-old girl out there, and they dragged her body down the street, and her face looked like ground chuck. That baby didn't have to be out there. I did that. Admitting the exact nature, control, admitting my need to feel more than somebody else felt, and it didn't matter. I'm like a tornado going through people's lives, admitting that. And then I got to, like another human being. I chose my sponsor. And I got to the exact nature. And I talked about the nitty and the gritty. I talked about this is Glendora and who I am. And what do I feel when I do what I do? When I hurt you, there's an orgasmic rush when I steal from you. I'm walking around helping you trying to find it, knowing I got it. Crazy stuff. Why do I do what I do? This step showed me some issues here. And I was able to identify them and move on to a 6th step, and I got to entirely ready to have these defects. Defects all over like zits, man, and they don't come one at a time. Look, if I'm lusting after you, it ain't just lust, it's manipulation, con, dishonesty, all of them coming together, and I'm going to get you. And when I see the look on your face when I cause you harm, it touches something in me because I'm coming alive. I'm almost free, but I'm not free yet. And I write about these defects. And my sponsor made me write on the other side something that you can counteract a defect with, a spiritual principle. And I did that. So I knew how to deal with life by applying the spiritual principle instead of like depending on the defects. And I was able to move on to a 7th step. And I go before God and I humbly ask him, please, it's me, Glendora. I'm so sorry that I did that. I'm so sorry that I did it again. I knew he was married, but I thought they broke up. You know they were still married, but I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. I can't seem to keep my legs shut. It's something broke. It's a bar that's broke and it keep popping open. I'm like 7-Eleven. I'm like peanut butter. I spread easy. What the hell? But I'm asking God to help me see me. And on the 8th step, I write down the list of harms done in recovery before I got here. This is the first time I did it. Look, I burnt a lot of people. If you don't know what burnt meant, you know what burned me. Look, I burned a lot of y'all. Gonorrhea, syphilis, trichomonas, so many diseases like a pot. And I knew when guys were saying, man, don't mess with her, she hot. I thought they meant she hot. No, they meant she hot. Ooh, hot. I'm burning, I'm on fire. And I got in recovery into the same behaviors, rolling around these rooms. And I had to understand I caused harm, man. And I wrote about it and I got honest with it on the 8th step. One thing about the 8th step, it leaves you butt ass naked. You're there and you're putting all this down. It's not about what they did that made you do that. It's what did you do, Glendora? Why are you doing this? You're still stuck. You're not free yet. You're still stuck in that quagmire of like pain, misery, and suffering in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. So I want to be free. So I go in my 9th step and I'm steady making amends. But see, the thing about me, I sleep with your husband, right? And I know I caused harm because I looked at it on the 8th step. And I realized sometimes my need to clear me up, clear up my conscience, I'll cause further harm. And so, like, I messed with a married man, and I knew his wife. Now, to tell her that me and him slept together would cause her harm. And because I thought about it, I thought I was going to go to her house and say, "Hi, Miss Jones. My name is Glendora. I had sex with your husband. It wasn't really good. That's why I'm not going to do it again." That's causing harm. That's causing harm. So this ninth step told me, like, look, it's about changing the behaviors. Saying sorry is cool. But for an addict like me, when I tell you, like you said, you really hurt me, I said, yeah, I'm sorry. You know what that means in Glendora language? That means, yeah, I'm sorry for this moment. And I'm going to get you again later when you're not looking. I got to change all of me. I got to say sorry and do behaviors to make sure I'm not there. I don't mess with nobody's husbands now. I see the ring or I see a shadow. I want to see paperwork. No, I want paperwork. I want paperwork. When was the divorce signed? Oh, no. That's growing up. So on the 10th step, how you living? How you living? Really? I share all around. I'm steady running. But how you living when they stop taping you? How you living when a newcomer's crying and you feel everybody else to get them? How you living? When your home group is folding and ain't many people there, are you putting the word out there to let them know that we're still open, the doors are open, and addicts are dying coming to that meeting and the doors are locked? How you living? When you go to a convention, all you do is complain about, oh my God, this is so not cool. Liddy and y'all did a great job. You need to tell them that. How you living, Glenn? And I had to look at my body of work in the rooms. Spiritual principles will come to you. My sponsor said, you look sick. And I'm like, what? I'm sick? She said, you need to get some more vegetables in you. I'm like, I don't like vegetables. I don't like them. And I'm on this 10th step. She said, well, I got 4 peas for you. Oh, no, I don't like peas. I used to pluck them. I don't like peas. She said, these 4 peas are going to help you get healthier spiritually. I'm like, spiritual peas, huh? I said, so what are these peas? She said, well, the first P is to pause. I'm getting ready to knock you out. First P told me to pause. I'm like, second P told me to pray. Dear God, don't let me whip her ass. Third P tells me to practice. Meaning, I may not get it right the first time I'm whipping your behind, but the next time I'll do better. I'll walk away. And the fourth P tells me the principles. Follow the principle that would apply to this situation. If it's just walking away or talking about Michael Jackson's been resurrected, get out of there, go. 4 P's. Pause, pray, practice principles. They keep you healthy. They have been working in my life since my sponsor told me, and they really work. And I got, bam, muscles. That's spiritual. And I do that. 10th step, like, that's what I do, man. Look, I am a lover of people, of men. Ooh, flies too, I see. I love men. I gotta go there. Y'all know I gotta go there. All right. I told you from the beginning, I thought having sex meant you love me. And as time went on and I got more clean time, years under my belt, I thought I had grown out. I haven't. And I found myself in the rooms hiding when I see you come in the meeting because I don't want nobody to know really what I'm doing. And I realized on the 10th step, going into 11th step, that I'm living in option and priority. And if you don't know what that is, okay, an option is like when you're given the option of peanut butter and jelly or bologna and cheese. That's a cute option. We're talking about that spiritual option, where you're optional, where you can't tell nobody you with him because he don't want it known, where you have to be available 3:45 in the morning, 4:45 in the morning, butt naked with your legs open. You are an option. You don't have the right to ask for birthdays, holidays, Kwanzaa, nothing. You are an option. You don't share about you and him going away for the weekend because you don't talk about him because he's already told you signed the contract. You don't remember signing it, but you did. You dress optionally. You wear what he wants you to wear because you have no personality or any, self-esteem. Because all you live for is for him to say he loves you. And you keep holding on to hope, but you've seen it. You know it's not coming your way because you are an option. You walk around the meetings, you hear everybody else share about their romantic relationships, and you want to tell them so bad, me and Booby, we together, you can't. Because you're optional. And men, if you think you're not an option, let me hit you with this one. She only calls you when she needs some new shoes. She got 1 for shoes, 1 for money, 1 for fixing the house up. You know, you're really good with a wrench and a hammer. You're an option, baby. I only want you for that. And then once you fix that roof, you got to go because the man with the you know what, wow, is coming. So you got to go. You are option. You don't understand why she don't love you. It's because you have signed up to that list to be an option. And you don't even realize, you think it's just for girls. I'm sorry, no, I got to tell you. Because a couple of you, before that chicken came, were my options. You know, I had 1 for every day of the week, just in case them girls saving the panties with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on them. That was how the men were. All right, Billy, I give you some on Monday because, you know, you did really good fixing that sink. And Mike, I give you, oh, you just good. It didn't matter. I had no feelings in recovery with clean time, working steps. I can turn it on and turn it off. Don't forget who I am. Dr. Jekyll, Mistress Hyde. And so I learned, like, I don't like being an option. I don't like being the last thing you think about at the end of the night. I don't like you going away and you acting like you're not dealing with nobody, your wife or me, and I'm not worthy. And you get to a point where you say no. You get to a point where you like incorporating that 11th step. You're like, God, please. I'm more than just an option. I am a priority, and what a priority is. I am the woman that will walk on your arm in the daylight. I'm the woman that know my boobies hang low, but that's all right, you'll help me put them up. I am the woman that you will recognize at a meeting. Yeah, me and Glendora, Grenada, Panetta, we going away. You will be able to say my name without grimacing. You will not look down. You will not look around and hope nobody in here know you. You will respect me. When I am not there in physical form, you will act like I'm there. And when it's my birthday, I don't need to be pushed aside for anybody because I am a priority. I know what I'm worth. God gave me my worth. I have worked so hard on loving who I am. Y'all don't know. It's hard to sit up here and reveal myself to y'all. But some of y'all need to know, as I am, I'm whole. I'm so, let me tell you, I'm a big girl. Duh, you didn't know. Plus size, full figure. But let me tell you something on the positive side of that. Look, I keep you warm in the winter and give you shade in the summer. I recognize who I am. You may not like my flavor, but don't get in the way of my game. You know, I am who I am. Boobs don't match, one too long, one too short. Got a rectangle booty. I don't have so many surgeries you can play to connect the dot on my stomach. But as I am, God says I'm beautiful. I need to recognize I am beautiful. I'm not smoking crack. I'm not shooting heroin. I'm not on the corner tricking. I am an addict. Applying these 1 through 11 in my life, and I'm asking God to let me see the glow that's in me. I am walking and talking the Narcotics Anonymous language in all my affairs. You cut me, I bleed, basic text blue. I am what you taught me to be. Newcomers, bottom line is, like, look, yeah, I talk a lot. 11 Step gave me my voice back. I'm able to let y'all know it's not always easy sharing it around. It's not, Lenny knows, it's not easy when I have to go to these places and reveal who I am because I'm not here. And it sounds really mean, but I'm telling you the truth. If I could just touch one of y'all, I've done the job got me on that plane to get here to do. So on the 12th step, let me tell this to you. My mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And like I didn't understand because we weren't close. She made me get an abortion at 16, at 17, and I wound up never having children. Never. I will never see my little baby run around the NA meeting. It's my mom's fault, and I resented her. And when she got sick, they called and said, we need help taking care of mom. And I'm like, I ain't taking care of her. She wasn't there for me. Anger was steps in my life, a sponsor, a home group, the whole thing. But it doesn't stop anger. We are only, baby, listen, my disease is only under arrest. It makes bail. And I had to go back to my sponsor and have her restore me to sanity. She said, you're focusing on the wrong thing. So I showed up at the nursing home. This is my story. And I went in there. I was going to go in there and like make her life miserable. And I went in there and I couldn't do it. And I saw her. And I started combing her hair. And I bought her clothes to wear while she was in there. And I painted her toenails. And I took care of my mom like she was a queen. She was. And I would look at her and how small. She went from like 300 pounds to like 60 pounds. She was going away from me and I was trying to stop it because I got power like that. And I remember I got a phone call in February. My baby sister said, Glenn, get over to the nursing home. Mom's not responding well. It wasn't the first time because she had COPD also and a couple other things. So I'm driving fast when I get there and I park in the parking lot and I see all the cop cars and the ambulance. We're talking about 12-step stuff. And like, I run in there because I think somebody in there hurt the elderly people. And I was their daughter. I was everybody's grandmom and everybody's granddaughter. I took care of them. Y'all's 12-step. Y'all told me it's not just about the meetings or speaking on the tape. It's about showing up for people when they need you. And pushing aside your self-centeredness and like extending yourself to somebody who may need you. And all of them that had no family come see them. So I was everybody's granddaughter. So I'm running in there thinking like, you know, somebody hurt one of my grandparents. And I get up the elevator. My mom's room is like right where you're sitting at. And I said, she's asleep. Mom, wake up, wake up. And I hear over here crying. And I'm like, why are you crying? It's my baby sister. I'm like, why are you crying? And over here is my niece, and she's crying. I'm like, what's going on? Why are y'all crying? And my sister says to me, Glenn, mom is gone. I'm like, no, you didn't look in her room. She laying right there asleep. She said, no, Glenn, mom is gone. I'm like, no, she's not going. She's not going. And I touched her and she didn't respond. And I'm like, mom, don't leave me. Please. I don't know what to do without you. It's only me and you against the world. Mom, the first step didn't tell me about this kind of surrender and acceptance. You're my mother. So I picked her body up and I held her to my mom. And I'm like, Mom, you got to come back. You got to come back so I can show you how sorry I am. I didn't make enough nice stuff amends, Mom. I know I robbed you. I stole money and I tricked in your house. But Mom, I'm much better now. Mom, come back to me. And it was hard letting my mother body go. Y'all talking about acceptance and surrender. Try when it's your mother. And she was getting cold in my arms. I'm like, Mom, oh God, please help me make it through this one. And y'all did. And they showed up like soldiers. Y'all came to the funeral and they had to like borrow some of y'all because it got so crowded. And I forgot where I was at. I was at the funeral and my sister asked me to say a poem for my mom. And oh my God, I'm so stupid. I got up at the mic and I thought I was at a meeting. I'm like, hi, my name is Glendora. And my sponsor's like, no, don't. It's not a meeting. I'm like, oh, okay. And my poor mother, and I buried my mom. Let me say something to y'all on the 12-step round. That's the hardest outfit, that last outfit that they wear to buy. That is the hardest thing to buy a pair of shoes for your mom who's never going to walk in them again. And every Mother's Day, you think you forget. It's been 7 years and you think it don't bother me. It does. But I'm telling you something, life goes on, and using wouldn't bring my mother back. For the newer member, things are going to happen. You're going to break up. You're going to find out your boyfriend's cheating, or you're going to find out your girlfriend's cheating. You're going to go through like anger with your sponsor and read your literature page 119 at the bottom of the Step Working Guide. Tells you about that one. I ain't going to get into it. But you're going to get mad at your sponsor. She ain't calling me back. I ain't talking. I'm moving on. I'm getting another sponsor. Anger. 119, bottom paragraph. Believe me, it works. And you come in here and you learn. You bring in, like I believe it's called my spiritual vault. And I come in here and some people I may not agree with. I may not understand their story. I don't identify. But I take what I can from it and I put it in that vault. Because the worst thing is when swords come your way, when things go down real bad, and you don't know what to do with that internal struggle, you can go to your vault, and if you don't put nothing in, you're going to get stamped with insufficient funds. No. Anything somebody say to you, put it away for later on. You may need it. So in the 12-step realm, yeah, I buried my mom, but I didn't use. How about on the 12-step realm? I'm telling you, like, look, they diagnosed me right after my mom died with cancer. They removed half my kidney. I didn't use. Right after that, they told me every tooth in my head was bad because of me being afraid of needles. And they took every tooth and I got some brand new teeth. Brand new teeth I didn't use. And the funniest thing about working with preschoolers, because that's what I used to do, kids can be really very honest. And I remember the first day I came back to work, and I had no teeth in my mouth, so I'm trying to eat my lunch because you got to eat with the kids. So I'm eating like this, and the little girl, it's always that one kid. She comes up to the desk. What are you eating? Like, damn. I'm like telling myself, Glenn, rip off the Band-Aid. Let her see, because it's better to get it over and done with. So I show her. I said, Miss Glenn has no teeth. So she said, how much did the tooth fairy give you? Damn. I forgot all about tooth fairies. Oh my God, I'm so old. The next day, a parent comes to me and said, Miss Bellamy, that's my last name, my daughter worried all night about your teeth. She said she made a joke about you. I'm like, now I'm a joke. Oh my God. I said, okay, little Alice, what is the joke, sweetheart? What do you call a bear with no teeth? I'm like, now I'm a fat bear with no teeth. Oh my God. I said, honey, what do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Oh, man. And she gave me this big container of gummy bears, and they felt so good on my poor gums. I'm like, so thank you so much. So on 12-step realm, yes, I remember where I was. I go around and I speak a lot of places and I do a lot of things, and I've said a lot of stuff, But one thing I want to leave you with is no matter what goes on in your life, you don't use. At the meeting folds, you don't use. Sometimes you may get an argument with people in the fellowship. The program works. Don't use. You may find yourself making mistakes, and literature backs me up on this. We're not perfect. I'm imperfectly perfect. You know what I'm saying? I make mistakes, but I try to make newer ones. Don't use. You know, I've been doing this a lot, talking about me, and I think it helps some other people who are unable to talk about them. So last but not least, I'm gonna shut it down with this one. Look, I'm 62 years of age. My birthday's coming up next month. I've been clean 35 years and 5 months. I got one sponsor who's a hell of a woman who scares me sometimes, and that's cool because you need to scare me sometimes. But I love her. She loves me as I am. She doesn't change or alter me. I got my sponsor here, Shauna's here, and my new sponsor, my new baby here. Yeah, raise your hand, represent. You know, and I got many girls all around the world, and I love them. You know why I love them? Because God puts them in your life for the mirror images back on you. When you tell them to do something like step work or make a meeting, probably look at your life 10 to 1, you not making meetings or doing step work. And they're there for a purpose. They're there to remind me that I'm an addict, that I'm not recovered with the ED, I'm recovering. That I am not perfect because I'm a sponsor doesn't mean I am their higher power. I'm just a girl, just a woman, just trying to get another day clean. So look, I got the sponsor, I got the home group, I'm on Zoom, I'm off of Zoom. I got some women in my life that are so strong, they got that spiritual muscle thing going on. I got some information through literature that I read all the time. I keep myself contacted with this fellowship. I don't want to ever be so like cool that I ain't got to make meetings somewhere because I got time now. Oh, hell no. They call me a dinosaur, and I got offended by that one. I'm like, what? Dinosaurs are extinct. No, what they're saying is, if you look around the meetings when they do the clean time countdown, look at how many people are still left for 30 years or more. We're becoming extinct because we stopped coming. I'm going to keep coming with my old ass, my false teeth, my fake hair, because I'm an addict. My name is Glendora. I came here with nothing, and you've given me back life. I am free at last. Oh, babies, I'm free at last. I haven't had sex in 11 years, and all y'all look good right now. I'm naked. I am an addict. Thanks for letting me share. I'm done. Bye.
I've asked Steve to come read just for today. Thank you, guys.
I'm an addict named Steve. This is the Free at Last group, and every Saturday morning we meet in the park, and I'm asking all the people out here to follow along with me. That's how we do it at the Free at Last. So just for today, tell yourself, just for today, my thoughts will be on my thoughts will be on my recovery. I better read this too. Living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Just for today, I'll have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Just for today, I'll have a program. I will try to follow it to the best of my ability. Just for today, through NA, I will try to get a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I'll be unafraid. My thoughts will be on my new associations, people who are not using and who have found a new way of life. So long as I follow that way, I have nothing to fear.
662 years clean time.
So just so you guys know, I guess she wants me to tell you that there's 662 years of clean time up in this piece tonight. If you guys would like, we're going to circle up. If you're new, we would need a little bit of help. Nothing serious, just a little help. Get another day clean. Just help with the service a little bit. If you're new, help us. We'll help you. But let's circle up and do what we do. Remember.
Don't spill my coffee. Okay, I fit in.
All the way from the state of Washington. What? And she told me this. She said, if Glendora is anywhere in the northern hemisphere, I'm going to drive there. And responding, would you like to close the meeting?
I'd love to. Let the circle represent what I can't do alone. We can be together in the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. One addict helping another without parallel.
let's have a moment of silence for the still suffering addict here and elsewhere, and we'll follow up with the third step prayer. Many of us have said,
take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live. Keep coming back and worship your God.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. See you next year.
Thank you, so. Thank you.
Come on, man.